Hi everyone, this is Chavi, your podcaster of the day, and today I am back again with our yet another amazing guest. We have Alexander with us, and in our today's podcast series, we would be talking about a lot of stuff. So you might be curious how it gonna look like today. So we have a very special guest. He is currently working as a Microsoft Azure Technical Trainer Business Program Manager at Microsoft, and along with that, it's been more than 2 decades that he has been into whole technology and corporate world at the same time. And also there's a very amazing thing that I want to add into this, that he recently published one amazing book that is obviously related to Azure. So let's hear about his experience of Azure and also about his book from his mouth only. So I welcome you, Alex, in our today's podcast. How are you doing?
You. I'm happy to be with you today. My name is Alex Ivanov. I'm author of the book. Actually, I'm not just one author. We did it together with Paul Ivy. So this is the best book for getting ready for exam Z204. It's a really good book because everything what we tell to our students. As you know, I work as a Azure Technical Trainer. So I teach other developers like every day, like every week. So everything what we tell them is actually on this book, and even more. So in the book you can find good demos or scripts. So you can download them from GitHub. You can update with your settings, and you will see how it works in a real world. And if it doesn't work, we also recorded some videos for you, so you can follow the video and you will see how it should work. So that is the best book. Few words about how we comes up from uh, from our background to this book. Actually, I've been a developer maybe for 25 years from now, and I started way before Microsoft. I'm working for Microsoft about 11 or 12 years, and I started way before Microsoft my development journey. So first I start, of course, with Visual Basic, then I go to the C++, which was kind of quite difficult shift. Then I go to the C sharp. Then I go to the other languages like Node.js, Python, and many others. So actually, when you work with Azure, it doesn't matter what the platform you prefer. You can work with C sharp, with Python, with Java, with Node.js. And Azure is just hosting your environment. So that's the parity of Azure. So you just bring your code and configure it and it start working. This is it. So this is a book more about how you can adopt your code. How can you use different Azure services to get ready your services to host your clients. So how I did start with Azure journey. Actually, when I hired in Microsoft, they told me, you're going to be developer engineer, so you're going to support other developers to explain them how to code. And recently, when we start working with the developers, they said, "Oh, we know how to develop the code, but we don't know how to host it." And here's the Azure comes up. It's just like first data center comes up, and everyone will start adverting the Azure. And we said, okay, let's just try to do them on Azure. And first customer was agreed with, and we helped them to move to Azure, and they were happy. And we told others that this were happy, and everything started. So my journey as Azure is actually start because I have to help my customers. So they want to go to Azure. By that time, I don't know what Azure is, but I have to learn because they want to go to there. So that's how the Azure journey started. It was 7 years ago, no more than 7, maybe 10 years, almost 10 years ago. Started working with Azure First Data Center, and we have just a few services in Azure at that time, mostly virtual machines. But now we have all PaaS, platform as a service environment, and so on.
That's actually great to hear. So, and also moving with that, I would be very happy to understand because Microsoft seems to be the dream company of various developers, right? So, in that case, as you mentioned, that your Azure journey has been very exciting, and it's been more than a decade that you have been contributing to Microsoft precisely. In that case, what are your roles and responsibilities look like as a Azure Technical Trainer, and also how it feels to train developers, not only the young developers but also the professionals at the same time about Azure technology? It's like imagining yourself like being that kid who started the Azure journey, and now you are the person who is actually like teaching everything. How it feels.
Exactly like you said. So yeah, we have many developers who wants to be certified, and we told everyone that you might be good in development technology, but someone need to confirm that you're professional. And Microsoft is the best point that can confirm that Microsoft technology, you're professional in Microsoft technology, like C Sharp, like Azure, and so on. So that's why we have many developers who come to us and wants to get certification. And we have a SI program. SI stands for Enterprise Skills Initiative. So we have a customers who consume Azure, and based on their consumption, we can give him some amount of trainings. So they can pick up different courses, and I'm specialized on development and data platform courses. So every week, basically, I have a group of the students, maybe like 15 to 20, or if I have a co-teaching partner, we might take like 40 students every week. And we're going through the 4 days of the training. We're going through the every day, we deliver them some theory, demonstrate demos how it works in Azure, and also give them hands-on practice on, we have virtual machine for them and Azure subscription, where they can try everything and make their hands dirty with Azure solution. So Azure Technical Trainer is basically a trainer who teach others and help them to prepare for passing exams and achieve certs. And many students from our courses is actually sharing after that with LinkedIn their achievement. And sometimes they send me messages, private messages. So thank you, Alex, you helped me to prepare. I passed exam. I'm so happy. Yeah, and they have a chance after that take exam and pass it, because the training is actually exactly match objectives of the exam. So that's how we let them prepare. And of course, the book which we have also match objectives, and I recommend my book as a like extra material all the time. So we just help them. And technical trainers is like a teachers, like a teachers who help other students to get prepared and pass exam.
That's so true. That, yeah, like the teacher thing, I totally agree with that. And also, as you mentioned about the book, in that case, how was that like feeling when you thought of writing a book? Like, you are a trainer, I agree, but again, like writing a book is a very big decision, and at the same time, when you are writing in a book in a collaborative way with Paul, obviously. So, how was the experience? Can you please share something with us, and how much time you took in whole that writing procedure?
Yes, exactly. So we have a book. We split. Let's say we split the book in two parts. So one of the book part of the book Paul is do, another part of the book I did. Then we verify each other. So we read each other topics and we propose some changes and so on. So we collaborate all the time. I work with Paul in the same company. He also work in Microsoft, so we have internal chat. And I ping Paul, Paul, what do you think about it? You see the changes in objectives of the exam. Should we update our chapter based on the changes, latest changes, and so on? So we'll keep in touch all the time. So sometimes I send him a message and ask him for help. Sometimes he send me a message, ask me for help. Also helped me a lot with writing, because English is my second language. I'm not so good in different pronunciation and different sentences writing. So Paul is actually native speaker. He always helped me to correct and find the best way uh, to explain what I think and correct my sentences. So this was a good journey, and it started like taking about maybe 6 or 7 months. So we start with the first agenda, like what is going to be in the book, and then we split parts and we join it together. Then we join together in a team, and because parties, they are related to each other. Sometimes I want to say it's going to be covered in the part, in other part. And if the part is actually whole part, I need to touch him, get him in touch and ask, Paul, what do you think about? Should we add it? Should you go into write about it or not? And based on his answer, I can add that reference. So it's much more difficult in compare if you write the book alone, because here we have two authors and they need to have like the same style. So when you read the book, you might be feel that like a solid book. It's not like one my part, another Paul part. It's like a solid book. It should have the same style, the same words, the same techniques. So that's much more difficult than writing book alone.
That's actually great to hear that. And also, what were the challenges that you faced in the publishing like time, and also when it comes to letting people understand like how amazing your book is actually?
Yeah, it was many challenges. I would say when I started the book, I didn't start writing book. I didn't expect so much challenges. So I think that I can like write a letter, but it's not. It's completely different. So first time when I send my first chapter to the editor, my editor comes up like with 200 or 300 changes. I said, "Oh my God, I should stop writing book right now because so many changes. I might be bad writer, so I need to rewrite everything from scratch." And my editor has actually recommend me to rewrite half of my chart from scratch. I said, "Oh my God, I have to spend so much time." So I did it. I did it better every time. Every chapter have 7 or 6 chapter per author. So every chapter I did better than previous one. And finally, when I get the last chapter, I just maybe have like 10 or 15 changes, not like 200 or 300 changes. So it was quite difficult to start a book. It's not like writing what you think, because you need to verify that in a documentation. Like you, if you say that is possible, you need to make sure that it's possible. Moreover, you need to bring some code which is demonstrate that it's possible, right? So everything need to be synchronized and many parts. I really thank you, my publisher team, my editor team, who helped me actually to create a real book chapter with entries and ends and with summaries and with some references and so on. Because when I started, it's just some like I speak to you, I write some sentences, but then it comes up a real chapter.
Exactly, as you mentioned, challenges are everywhere, and so why not here? Obviously, there were many. So moving with that, I just want to know, as we talked about a lot of stuff, let's understand. Let's make listeners understand what's in the book. Now, the main question that comes is what's actually in the book, and how you try to make your book unique, or I can say different, when it like in the comparison of the books, or like whatever the resources that are present in like online or offline mode. So how you try to make your book very much insightful and like great at the same time for the developers?
You're right, absolutely. So our book is special, right, in compare with others. So I can give you several points why the book is special. So first of all, because we are trainers, me and Paul are trainers right now, and we know what we need to tell our students, what we need to where we need to focus their attention because it might be comes up in their exam questions. So we cannot share what exam questions is, but we know because we all, me and Paul, is actually take the exam many times, and I take my exam several times as well because I need to renew my cert and so on. So I know where is they need to be focused. I know what they need to practice to remember it. Right. So that's what we know from the study standpoint. And also because I used to be Azure engineer, and Paul as well used to be Azure engineer, developer, developer support Azure engineer. So we know actually how it works in real life. So we know how the enterprise, how the big company implemented, because we used to work with them. We know what they need. We know what the issue might happen, right? So we give that information to our students and we share that info. So they, even if they don't want to take exam, so they can use a book like a guideline, like to move their application in Azure. So that's why the book is special, because they give both sides. It's experience sides and learning side of it.
That was very, very amazing to hear that. And also, let's like conclude this amazing podcast with some key learnings that you have received by like writing a book, publishing a book, and also understanding that what is the actual importance of not just providing training but also like putting some efforts on like spending some time on the documentation writing, and also so share some key learnings on that as well.
Yeah, exactly. Because we have objectives, we meet those objectives in our book, because the agenda of the book exactly going to objective of the exam. And everything what we give, we don't give just like for your information. We give exactly that knowledge that need to be for exam. So learners who take our book, who read our book, who complete the hands-on task. We have several hands-on tasks inside of the book. We have a reference to. Once they complete, they accept the knowledge, and they becomes familiar with. Now, if they don't work with Azure like every day, when they start reading book, they think about, oh, what I should do in my company. Maybe I can do it better. What if I use Azure? It's so easy to use because from the book it's like ABC, um, to start working with Azure. So they can apply this knowledge also for their work to everyday work. And also, if they want to be certified, they can go to exams. They pass exam, and they've been certified after that. So they have like achievements. They can improve. They can improve. Um, their cost on the market, right? So they can go to manager and say, take a look how much I did for my grow. I learned the Z204. I passed the Z204 exam. Right now I'm professional. I confirm it by Microsoft that I'm professional. So why you don't want to increase salary for me, right? So that's talking point for managers.
That was really very much insightful and amazing to have you today. And again, like I have like dropped all the important links in the description below. You all listeners can just have a look into it, and also don't forget to check out his book, which is very much amazing and great at the same time. So with that, no, thank you so much, Alex, for joining in, and it was really great having you today, and especially exchanging knowledge for Azure. So with that, no, thanks a lot for joining in. Thank you.
Thank you very much.